Hi everyone, it's Nintendojo Editor-in-Chief Robert Marujo back with another review. This time we are looking at Sonic Racing CrossWorlds Nintendo Switch 2 Edition. Although Sonic the Hedgehog is the fastest thing on 2 feet, the Sega mascot has nonetheless had a soft spot for pistons and rubber over the decades. Starting with Sonic Drift in 1994, the Blue Blur has been dabbling in the racing genre for over 30 years. While some of those games have been hit or miss, others have been quite solid, and in some cases, outright fantastic. The Sonic Racing series has largely been great since its debut in 2010 with Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. Following the misfire that was Team Sonic Racing, hopes were high that Sonic Racing CrossWorlds would right the ship, and lo and behold, it's done exactly that. The return of transforming race cars combined with blistering speed, a killer roster of drivers, great courses, and a bevy of features have made CrossWorlds one of the premier racing games of this generation, and a title that you'll find yourself returning to regularly. CrossWorlds' core premise is embedded in its name. The concept of CrossWorlds is an integral factor in every single race in the game. While the Grand Prix setup is fairly stock, with 8 to compete in, comprising 4 races apiece, it's the races themselves that stand apart. Here's the setup. 3 laps on a track, except the middle lap, takes place on a random cross-world before returning you back to the original course to finish things out. The result is that no 2 races are ever really the same, for both better and worse. On the one hand, the chaos of popping in and out of a new cross-world each race can be a lot of fun, and makes the proceedings hectic and invigorating. On the other, I found myself frustrated that I couldn't properly soak in and enjoy any of CrossWorld's dozens of tracks without interruption, which is a shame, because the sheer variety of locales is breathtaking, from sandy shores to glowing forests and a million other sights in between. I'm sure that many fans won't mind the shifting landscapes, but I felt that, at times, it served to undercut the splendor of the courses. Still, while the scenery is doubtlessly important, the racing itself is the most important element of any game in this genre, and CrossWorlds handles like a champ. The roster of over 50 characters features a potent mix of Sonic mainstays, like the Blue Blur himself, Shadow, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, along with obscurities and lesser knowns like Espio, Jet the Hawk, and more. There are even a smattering of Sega characters, like Ichiban from Like a Dragon, and Knights, as well as a whole host of franchises from across the world of multimedia, including SpongeBob, Mega Man, Pac-Man, and others. These characters aren't just for show either, as every racer has unique stats. Unlike previous installments, CrossWorlds lets players drive around in whichever vehicle they like, dubbed machines here, with 45 to select between. The customization doesn't end there, as CrossWorlds also offers players the chance to make cosmetic changes to vehicles, including paint, decals, parts, and more, as well as tweaks under the hood in the form of gadgets. With gadgets, players can add a number of enhancements to a machine that can give them an edge during races, or not. All of this is optional, allowing players to get right to driving if that's more their thing. But the option is there, and many will likely gravitate to finding the perfect combo of perks and stylings to build the ultimate ride. And you'll need a proper ride if you want any hope of coming in first place. CrossWorlds brings the series' signature drifting mechanics along to great effect. The drifting in this series is a lot looser than in Mario Kart, allowing for some really crazy, twisty corkscrews to be pulled off by more talented drivers. The enemy AI becomes more and more challenging the higher you crank up the difficulty level, but there are also rival racers that appear in each Grand Prix who will make you their target throughout each race. They can be tricky to outmaneuver, but doing so is rewarding, and not just in the spiritual sense. Beat every rival in the game for a cool unlock, and then do it again for, well, another really cool unlock. It's totally worth it. There are numerous power-ups to utilize during races, including speed boosts, projectiles, and the usual array of wacky weapons that kart racers are known for. But unlike the Mario Kart series, there's no real dread of a blue shell hovering overhead waiting to pull the rug out from under an effective run. Instead, skill tends to trump luck in CrossWorlds, something the Mustachioed One's racing series could stand to work on. There's a ton of modes and more to engage in, from online races to time trials, challenges to collectibles, and more besides. There's a jukebox. With a slate of DLC content that has been steadily dropping since launch, CrossWorlds is a game that won't leave you starved for things to do. And if you're fortunate enough to be picking up the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of the game, you'll be treated to much improved visuals and frame rate compared to the Switch version. It is the decidedly preferred way to play CrossWorlds, especially in regards to accommodating the game's speed and blistering graphics. Nintendojo awards Sonic Racing CrossWorlds a B+. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and a follow. And if you want even more Nintendojo, be sure to hit us up at our website and on social media. Catch you all next time.